Hi everyone. We just covered our intermediate lesson 1 on the major scale, and I would like to do some more exercises so that we can get more practice doing this. So let's go to noteflight.com, which is the music notation program I've been using, and we can use this to build a few more scales. Now, in the lesson we covered C major, D major, and E flat major. So let's try a few different scales. Let's see, we're gonna try F major. So let's put our first note down and let's remember the recipe or the formula that we use for building a major scale. We are going to pop back into the lesson real quick so that we can review that. So we put our first note down and then we do going up the scale, a whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. Remember, this only works on the way up the scale. On the way down, we're actually gonna use it backwards, and we're gonna practice that in this exercise video. So we set down F natural. Let's build our scale. So the first distance that we have to cover is a whole step. So we do F and then skip the black note and go to the white key here. That's going to be G natural. So we need to make another whole step. And so we skip this key and we go to A natural. So now comes our first half step of the scale. And to make a half step now, we have to do B flat. We cannot use B natural because then we'd be making a whole step, you see. We'd be skipping this black key and we don't want to do that in this situation. So let's do B flat. Now, I should mention something important. There are two rules about making a major scale that are important to know. The lesson didn't talk about this, but we're going to talk about it now. So when we build major scales, there are two important rules to follow. The first rule is we do not repeat note names when we build a scale. And the other rule is we do not skip note names either. So we have to go note letter by note letter in a row without skipping any. So let me explain why that's important. So this key here could either be B flat because we've taken B natural here and we've lowered it to a half step, so that could be B flat, but it can also be considered A sharp. Here we have our A natural and we've raised A natural to a half step up and that makes A sharp, right? So A sharp and B flat, even though they're different note names, they're actually the same pitch. But in this scale, in the F major scale, we cannot say F, G, A natural, A sharp, because then we're repeating the letter A. So we never want to repeat a letter. We want to go to the next letter, and if we need to make that flat or sharp to make it work, then we do that. We don't repeat the same letter and then put an accidental to that to make it work. So that's just a rule that we have to follow when making major scales. A couple other scales use similar rules. Anyway, moving on to the next step. So we're down to the fourth note. We've just done our first half step. The next note needs to be a whole step apart. So we're in B flat, so we need to make it C natural. We skip the B natural. Next note is going to be a whole step. So we skip the black key and we go to the next white key. And we need to make another whole step next. So we skip over the black key and we go to the next white key, which is E natural. And finally, we have one last half step. And from E natural to F natural, there's already a half step there, as you can see. So we go to F natural. So here is our F natural scale. F major scale. And let's play that real quick so you guys see what it sounds like. Okay. So let's build another scale. Let's start with Let's do G major now. So let's follow the same formula. And actually, let's try something different this time. This time, let's do the scale going down. So as we build the scale going down, we're going to have to go backwards through this formula. So we're going to have to do half step first, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step. Let's give that a try. So G. Now, on the way down, we have to go to F, but we need to make a half step. Oh, and let me pull up the keyboard again. I lost that. Good. So we need to make a half step going down now. We started in G, so we need to go to F. Now, if we go to F natural, we're going to have a whole step because we would have skipped over that. So we need F sharp to make a half step. Okay, so the next distance we need is a whole step. So from F sharp down a whole step, we're going to go to E natural. We're going to skip over F natural. Now, the next note we need is a whole step apart. And from E natural, that's going to be D natural. We skip over this key and we go to D natural. And the next distance we need is a whole step. And we're going to skip this key and we're going to go to C natural. Now, we need a half step now on the next level. So we go from C natural to B natural. We don't need to skip anything because they're already a half step apart. The next one is going to be a whole step. So we go from B natural, skip this black key, and we go to A natural. And finally, we're going to have a whole step, which we can get by going from A natural. We skip this key, and we go to G natural. And now we have our G major scale going down. Let's play it. Okay. Let me pull up the keyboard again. Great. Let's do one more scale. Let's try A major. And we're going to go up again just to practice that. So the next note, if we're going up now, it's going to be a whole step up. So from A natural, we go to B natural. And next, we need another whole step, I'm sorry. So from B natural, we go C natural, C sharp. And next is a half step from C sharp. So we're going to go to D natural. Next is going to be a whole step. So from D natural, whole step up is E natural. We skip over that. Next is going to be a whole step. And we're in E natural. So to make a whole step, we need to skip over the F natural and go to F sharp. And now this is going to be another whole step. And from F sharp, we make a whole step by skipping G natural and going to G sharp. And finally, we have one last half step to make. So from G sharp, the next half step is going to be A natural. Okay, let's play that. So now, we talked about not repeating notes when we make the scale. We also need to think about skipping notes. So, for example, here we had to write C sharp, right? But if you look at the keyboard, you will also see that C sharp, let me click it here so you can see it. C sharp here could either be raising C natural up a half step, but this key can also represent D flat because we have our natural, our D natural here, and we go one half step down, we get D flat. Now, if we have written D flat, that would have forced us to skip over C altogether because we were coming from B natural here. So if we had said A, B, D flat, that would have been wrong because we would have skipped over the C, and it also would have made us repeat the note letter later from D flat to D natural here. So once again, we don't want to repeat or skip any note letters as we're doing this. Okay, I hope that was helpful, and I encourage you to try this out at home by yourselves, starting from any note, and just give it a try until you get very comfortable with it. See you guys later.